My name is Shaun Joseph Leblanc, or Leblanc, a.k.a. Bonezy, and I was born in Lynn, Mass. And I had a lot of tragic things happen to me as a young kid. I witnessed one of my neighborhood girls that lived in my neighborhood. I witnessed her get run over by a truck, and that started like a real downfall of tragic things happening to me. She was killed in front of me. I was painted in her blood, literally.
Wow. How old were you in that?
I was 10. She was 9.
Right.
My brother David was with me. Her brother was with, we were going to get school stuff up in Cliftondale Square in Saugus. Mm-hmm. And we were on our bikes, and she got too close to a truck, a delivery truck. She got flipped into the back of the wheels. And she was just killed instantly, thank God for that, And that day, all I remember was the nuns coming across the street from the church, bringing us in the church and stripping us of our clothes because we were literally painted in her blood. After that, I remember we were all in shock, I guess.
Sure.
That was the beginning of tragic things for me. Then, of course, let me. I come from a biker family. Mm-hmm. All right, my father was a Hell's Angel. He was a great guy. I don't know the stereotyping of a biker. They beat people, this and that. No, he didn't. He raised 4 boys. He held down a job, stayed with 1 woman. So that stereotyping of a biker is not true. Just want to let you know. Never hit us unless we really deserved it. All right, I joined a heavy metal band. I'm just going to skip ahead now. I joined a heavy metal band in the late 80s called Malaya Rage. And you guys heard of Godsmack?
Yeah.
The lead singer of Godsmack was the drummer of my band, Malaya Rage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Sully Erna. And back in the day when we got signed here, there was no lawyers to help us out. You just signed. If you want to go on tour and make albums, you just signed on the dotted line.
Right.
You didn't read fine print or anything like that. So then grunge music came in. So we made albums. We toured all over the place. And, when you got your paycheck, you where's the money going here? Well, you should have read the fine print because you're getting charged for every single piece of toilet paper you use, whatever the case may be, you're being charged for it. So we kind of got ripped off, and that was depression for me, because I thought I was going to make a life out of it, but no, I didn't. So that ended because of grunge music, actually. Mm-hmm. The metal scene died because of grunge music. I got my truck driver license and my CDL, and I worked the Big Dig here in Boston. And during the Big Dig, money was just coming. Money was no object. Everybody was stealing from the sites, metal and all that, and we were getting paid at the same time. So,
double dipping.
Yeah. So in 1 year, I got a house. I bought myself a little Cape Cod house in Lynn on Cherry Street, and I used to see this girl stemming, holding a sign, downtown Boston at this little pizza joint where the truckers would go for lunch. And this girl was cute, and I kept on saying to myself, why is she out here? And blah, 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 blah. So I'd give her money every day, some cigarettes. And then winter was coming, and I asked her one day, I said, where do you sleep out here? And she said, here, there, and everywhere. And I said, if I put you in a hotel and I paid it for a week or whatever, would you stay there? And then she said, only if you stay with me. And I said, no, okay, I'll stay with you. So I got a place over in Malden, Connell Lodge or whatever. It was 3 days. She used to going in the truck with me, in the big truck. So I said, pack your bags, we're out of here. She goes, what did I do? I go, you didn't do anything. I have an apartment over in Lynn. I just want to feel you out. The next year I married her. And so the Big Dig went on for 11 years, way over budget. Yeah. But it ended, and there was no work for truck drivers around here. And we went into a recession. Ended up losing the house. Everything just trickled away. Yeah. I'm not going to lie, I got caught up in the opiate epidemic. All right, and I lost my brother from that. My baby brother died from that.
Sorry.
It mowed down all my friends. I have no friends left. I have some school kids that I grew up with, but they took a different turn in life. But it really devastated my age group. It just mowed us down. I don't know how I'm here. By the grace of God, I'm here. I don't know how I'm here. I shouldn't be. I really shouldn't be. And then she ended up leaving me because she was a material girl, which, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I didn't realize it because the money was there. I was buying her Coach bags there all the time. I just didn't, I was supporting two habits. This was when the OxyContins was around. So I was buying 100 of those every week at $80 a piece. Well, I was getting a deal because you're buying bulk.
Yeah.
But so you can imagine the money that was flowing around then. I never sold any of my assets, like my Harley, my guitars, my amps. I still have all that stuff.
Yeah.
When we became homeless, I took her wedding rings and all that stuff, and I gave them to my mother to hold because they're platinum. It was a really expensive set.
Yeah.
And I didn't want her to be out here with them,
Yeah, exactly.
But she ended up leaving anyways, so it didn't matter. She went and got sober, and that's awesome because I don't know how she survived it either.
Yeah.
It's no one ever saw this epidemic coming. It flew in like COVID did. It just came right in, and it mowed down a generation of people. To this day, the really thing that bugged me about it was a friend of mine from Malden. His house was butted up against Holy Cross Cemetery. Like literally his backyard has a fence, and then that's a cemetery.
Yeah.
His father went out and bought a plot right there so he could look out his kitchen window, put his headstone on it, his date of birth, his name, whatever, and then just waiting for the day to bury him. It did happen. He ended up burying him. But just that kind of mentality, I couldn't wrap my head around that. Like, it was crazy. I lost a lot of good people. I really did. And but I survived it. I'm still here, and I just push on through. I got my voucher, my Section 8 voucher. I'm just waiting to get a place right now.
Yeah.
So,
not to butt in, but I do have a few more. Like, what about Common Cathedral, like this resource and service?
This here?
Yeah. Well,
this is incredible.
What do you think about it?
It's incredible. Actually, this is my first year coming here. I started coming here in November. I always heard about it. I'm like
Where did you hear about it?
Lisa. She was out doing like an outreach, like telling people about the place.
Right.
But I'm like one of those kind of guys, like, I don't like to be a burden on people. I don't like that kind of stuff. I'm not really shy, but I'm kind of shy. I don't like to ask things for people. I look at myself like a survivor. I've survived this long out here.
Yeah, you strive to be kind of self-sufficient.
Yeah. I mean, I own my own house. I look at it like that. Like, I own my own house. So why am I mean, I hold a sign. I ask for food. I won't go and steal food. I just don't do that. I just can't see doing that when somebody will buy it for you.
Right. Yeah.
So in November I came here, and I come here every time it's open now. It's cold out.
Yeah.
I'm 53 years old. I'm not no spring chicken, and that cold gets inside you. Yeah. I'm also HIV positive, but I'm undetectable because I take my Biktarvy every day. Yeah. 3 years running now, so I stick with that. I take it every morning with my coffee and my donut or whatever I have.
Where do you get the Biktarvy?
MGH hospital.
Yeah.
I used to keep it on me, but your backpack gets stolen out here all the time.
Yeah.
Things happen. So I just, sometimes they'll bring it right here to me.
Yeah.
They'll give me a week's, those plastic things that have the days of the week on it. Yeah. And they'll give me a week's worth.
So does MGH, do they have a good program for that?
Absolutely. It's a branch of, like Barbara McGinnis at, Barbara McGinnis is like healthcare for the homeless. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing over in MGH. It's just for that area of Boston. But I like the people over there better. They're just, I don't like going down the mile.
Yeah.
It's,
Understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you, so what in terms of services or like material items could potentially better situation you're in currently?
I think
could be
more
like-
places would have like more donations for clothing, especially in the wintertime.
Yeah.
I see a lot of, elderly guys, like guys in wheelchairs, that they don't have the right stuff on.
Yeah.
I don't know how they don't get frostbitten or, it's things like that. There's a lot of homeless here now. So, you try to get what you can get.
Yeah.
I'm lucky because I have an old rock and roll friend of mine that I get to keep my stuff at his place.
Yeah.
I've known him for 30 years. So his name's Matt, and he's a good guy. So I get to keep my stuff there. I don't really have the problem of losing things. I have had stuff stolen from me. It happens.
Do you think most other people you meet that are experiencing homelessness, are they typically friendly? Is it a kind of hostile
What I notice
dynamic?
is the majority of the homeless community have mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we all are not sane. We all have something going on. But like, I notice like there's a lot of them in here that talk to themselves. That's an issue. That's like, they closed all those doors,
Yeah.
Mental health issues get taken care of when you go to jail.
Yeah.
They say it does, but they closed all the doors to those places because of the way they were being treated back in the day, and they just never reopened them.
Yeah.
And who wants to pay for them? They don't want to pay for that.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed that for homeless. Like me, I became homeless because of certain things that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just didn't wake up and say, I'm going to go be a junkie now. That didn't happen that way. I see a lot of mental health issues out here that's not being addressed.
And that, you have different people around Boston. They have their own perceptions.
Oh yeah.
What do you think are some some misconceptions that people have
All right, so
around Boston, like some stigmas?
Automatically, if like when I'm stemming, holding my sign stemming, or you guys never heard it that way, said that way, staging or whatever, like holding a sign. I sit on the ground, I sit Indian style, and I'm peaceful looking. I will never talk to anybody unless I'm talked to first.
Yeah.
I let the sign do the talking for me,
Yeah.
and then if I'm approached, blah, blah, blah. You're automatically looked at as a junkie. You're not even an alcoholic anymore. That's out the window.
Yeah.
You're a junkie.
What do you wish they knew about you?
That I was a great dad. I raised my kids. They live in different states now. I was a great father. I was the father to be. My kids had all their friends always staying over at my house because I was the great dad, like my dad was.
Yeah.
I was the kid that my friends always wanted to hang around with because I had all the toys. I had the go-karts. I had it all.
Yeah.
It's not cool to be judged like that because everybody has a story. Nobody wakes up and says, I'm going to be a junkie today. I'm going to turn my life into a junkie. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
There's something going on up here or in their life that, like, I didn't tell you guys something. I was raped by a priest, okay? His name was Father Gagin. He's the one that killed up in state prison here in Massachusetts here. 4 years of my life, I was raped by him and a couple of my friends. And that's what started that big witch hunt thing here. It started right here.
Yeah.
And I saw shrinks and all that, but talking about it is the best thing for me. I used every drug under the sun to try to build a wall, and heroin was the only thing that really gave me that sanity for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it caught up. I became an addict. Yeah, that's why I used. I tried everything. Nothing worked but the heroin.
Yeah.
Do you mind touching a little bit on how you feel like the opioid epidemic has impacted homelessness in Boston from your experience?
I can just look at the Ave, look at methadone mile. You got 2 methadone clinics, not even like a quarter of a mile from each other. You got like an illegal needle exchange over there, which we need. because if not, you're going to have an HIV epidemic.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if other cities are experiencing. I know Pennsylvania has some area called what's it called? I forget the name of it, but it's actually yeah, it's actually worse than ours. It's actually way worse than ours.
Yeah, I've seen videos of the street you're talking about.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like, I mean, it's the same thing that's going on, but it's like the people is way more overwhelming. You know, yeah, it's. I never saw it coming. I never saw it coming. I never saw that coming at all. I was a weed head. And I drank my beers on Fridays.
Kensington. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that's horrifying. But it's just like here, but it's just more people. That's all. Mm-hmm. But what I couldn't understand is, I watched the heroin disappear, basically overnight. Like it came off the streets, and fentanyl was put on the streets.
Right.
And now none of us knew, like us addicts didn't know what this fentanyl was. You know, pharmaceutical fentanyl is only three ways of it. It's a lollipop, a patch, and IV drip. That's the United States' fentanyl. Mm-hmm. The fentanyl that was put on the streets was coming from China. Now, when Obama was president, he basically told China, we're not paying you back the trillions of dollars we owe you. That's what he said. China went out and blocked all the heroin coming into this country, put fentanyl out here that has no shelf life. So you're back at the dope dealer every couple hours, and it's so strong that it was just killing people left and right. Mm-hmm. So they're getting their money back, and they're mowing down Americans at the same time. Nobody sees that. No, nobody except us addicts.
Do you think that it's gotten worse, or has it gotten better?
You mean the drug itself?
No, as in like the problem.
Yeah.
No, it's all right. So say one person overdoses down the mile, 2 more addicts are going to arrive that day. Mm-hmm. And that's true. I went down there because I had an appointment down there, and I saw this girl that she probably looked like she was 18 years old, and I said to myself, that girl is going to get turned out. One of the dealers are going to scoop her up. And then within a month, she's not going to look what she looks like. Yeah. And I've seen it happen over and over and over. It's a vicious dog eat dog world down there. If you can't survive, you're going to get chewed up and spit out.
Yeah.
It's nothing nice.
I got a few more questions.
Yeah.
And this one, is a pretty basic one. But have you been able to find food and shelter on a daily basis?
Yes.
Okay. And these are, from now on, this is going to be less logistical about specific to Boston. This is going to be specific to you. So I want you to think about it. This one's just a general one, but what makes you happy?
What makes me happy? When I'm stemming and someone does approach me and actually sits down next to me, it's usually a college kid. That's overwhelming, because no one ever sits down, and wants to sit next to a homeless guy. That makes, I cried a couple of days ago. This kid sat down, he had his luggage with him. He was going home for vacation, sat down, he gave me $40, and he said, I'm going to my family, and, I don't know your story. Can I sit with you for a while? And basically I told him, he wanted to know about me a little bit, so I told him a little bit, blah, blah, blah. That got me. Yeah. That was what I was just crying, like, this is crazy, and that's never happened. So not everybody who walks by is like, don't give him nothing, he's, blah, blah, blah. There's there's more good than bad, put it that way. There's way more good than bad.
And here's another one. If you had one message to tell the world, what would it be and why? That's a big question, I know. You can take a second to think about it.
We need to start treating this earth a little bit better, because what I'm seeing in my lifetime is weather patterns aren't the same. I was seeing a documentary on TV the other day, and it was about the rivers all around the world, that the fishing, the villagers can't fish anymore because of pollution. Like, what the hell are we doing to Mother Earth? What did she do to us that, you know, I just don't get that part. Why none of these places, these third world countries, regulate the way they have pollution? I just don't get that. It saddens me. And I'm Native American too, so it hits me a little bit. My mother was born on a reservation in Montana. And so, you know, Mother Earth is like a precious place. And it's like, we're just killing it. We're killing it. You know, and people wonder why there's raging storms. Well, because Mother Earth is going to get more meaner to clean herself.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. And you know, I got two more. If you don't mind. Is there anything you would like to share about your hopes and aspirations for the future?
Well, I'm just waiting to get a place. Like I said, I got applications out there. It's just a matter of time that I get accepted into a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, that's awesome.
If you do the footwork, the people tell you to do the footwork, do it. It's not much. They do most of it. It will come. Like I got a voucher within 8 months. My caseworker said, "I'll get you a voucher in 8 months," and he did, because I did the footwork. Yeah. He got me my ID. You know, during COVID, everything got screwed up. Yeah. You couldn't do anything, and that was hard during COVID for a homeless person. Really, really hard.
And what would help you get there?
What would help me get where to?
You know, you're talking about your hopes and aspirations. You're talking about the voucher and everything. Do
Well,
you already have it set up? Or?
Oh yeah. I got application. I'm just waiting for a phone call to say, "Hey, you can move in." That's all I'm waiting for.
I hope it.
And then once that happens, I want to get back on methadone. I want to start a routine, and I want to give back. You know, like donate some time here, helping out. I mean, it's all these places that are around. You know, but we're lucky. We're a Commonwealth, so a lot of states don't have the means that we have here. We are a very lucky city or state. You know, if you're an addict in some other, you're on your own. You know, you're on your own. They don't even have methadone clinics or Suboxone clinics. You're screwed. Yeah. So very lucky here. And like, if you go hungry in the city of Boston, shame on you. Because I can hold a sign that says "need food" and I'll have food in 5 minutes. Right. So, I mean, this way I had to adapt real quick being homeless. Because, like I said, I was the guy putting money in a cup. Yeah. I never knew how to be like this. I had to adapt real quick. Mm-hmm. The way, like I was saying, like people steal your backpacks and stuff like that. I didn't know that happened. That was the last thing I would think of a homeless person stealing from another homeless person. Who would think that? They think you got $1 million in that backpack or something. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I had to adapt really quick out here. Because
so does that happen a lot? Like, do people experiencing homelessness, do you feel like they treat each other well for the most part? Or
in my eyes, they're not your friend. They're acquaintances. Mm-hmm. You know, there's maybe 3 that I would consider I would trust my life with. Like, you know, one of them's upstairs is Mikey. Right. He's just a good dude all around. He's a gay kid, but I see through that. He's old school. He's like me. He's old school.
Right.
I don't steal from nobody. I just, you know, it's not right. It's not right. I won't even go into stores and steal food. I'll hold a sign before that happens. Right. Because I know I'm going to get it, you know. I never asked for this. Like I said, I had to adapt real quick. My wife showed me some of the ropes. Yeah, I like to create good karma. I'm not going to go and steal something. Now I have to look over my shoulder because that dude is going to, you know, what if I'm sleeping or something and he comes over and kicks me in the face? Yeah. I don't need that. I'm 53 years old. I don't need to be looking over my shoulder. You know, this is the 2nd year that I haven't had a warrant for my arrest. You know, I robbed some banks back in the day, and I did my time. Like I said, my dad was a Hell's Angel. Now, my parents died during COVID, but they died of natural causes. No funerals. Sorry, they were 81 years old, which is ironic because the club's numbers are 81. Yeah, so that was kind of weird. But there was no funerals, no wakes, no nothing. I was brought into a room with a radiation suit on and had 3 minutes to say goodbye to my father. So
That's hard.
if there was no COVID, he would have had one of the biggest funeral processions or whatever in the city of Lynn. Bikers would have come from around the world and paid their respects to him. But they couldn't do that. In the club, my dad's club even petitioned to have the body brought to the club, but they lost. They lost because of COVID. There was unwritten laws that, they tried, but they failed. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
We got to have a big funeral after.
Yeah.
And my brother Ronnie, he's a patch holder. He's a Hell's Angel himself. Found my father on my mother's side of the bed, sleeping, dead. So he died of a broken heart. He stayed with that woman. Met her in Montana on a Blackfoot reservation. They got a contract to do all the infrastructures out there, the roads. Scooped up my mom and brought her here, and that was it. He stayed with one woman. He didn't even have an old lady or anything. He come out of Vietnam, and he was just one of those guys that, he needed the brotherhood, the camaraderie. And they started this club called the Chirons in 69. And then 1970, Sonny Barger was coming across this country, approaching all these little clubs and patching them over without prospecting. He wanted to make a nationwide Hell's Angel club.
Right.
And Lynn Salem was the first one in Massachusetts. My dad's club patched right over, no problem.
Yeah.
And that was when I was born in 70, so yeah.
Is there, first, I'd like to say that all of these stories that you've given us have been almost above and beyond what we expected.
Yeah.
It's been really inspiring listening to you, genuinely.
Yeah.